microphone because the box is in the way. I wanted to do another knitting video, and I keep seeing ads for Stitchbox. Received my first box, and I thought you might like to join me when I knit my first square for the blanket. We have a giant pink wall, a giant grey, 2 small white, 1 small blue, 1 small pink. It's actually a slightly different colour to the big pink. And, gosh, 1 small green. Yeah. Zipper. It's quite difficult to pull. I have many needles. I need to be very careful because if I drop them, they'll be quite loud. Some circular needles, 5.0 millimeter. And underneath it all is the pattern. We have the welcome to Stitchbox first. We have dun, dun, dun. you receive some wool to knit one square on your blanket. You learn different stitches and you get a different kit. So this is the kit that comes with the first month's box, as well as 2 pretty planters. And then you have the first 4 squares. And so I thought you might like to knit those with me today. This one is quite easy. This one is slightly more complicated, but still quite simple. This one is a little bit more complicated. You can see it's like a checkerboard. With a border on the edges. It also has other kits that you could do and tips to help you out along the way. The stitch box is made to be, equally good for experienced knitters as well as beginners. So if you've never knitted before, it takes you through everything you need to know. Sorry. way round. I feel like you're still too low down. Can I just lift you up, up, up? Keep that head nice and tall for me. I feel like I'm very far away from the camera. That was the other issue. Excellent. Welcome back. So I have my pattern book. I have my 4mm needles. And I have my yarn. And now I need to find the correct page in the book. Okay. Do you mind if I pop this just behind you here? I need it somewhere that I can see, but not somewhere that it's taking up space. There we go. Thank you. Just before we start, it's important to stay hydrated. Do you like my water bottle? When I was a teacher, one of the children came into class with this water bottle. This water bottle, water bottle, water bottle, water bottle. And I had to ask her parents where she got it, so that I could get one myself. Who doesn't want to be rewarded with a shower of glitter? Every time you take a drink. Okay. The dimensions of the finished square are approximately 15 by 15 centimeters. So we start by casting on 31 stitches. I'm going to bring you down so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay, are you ready? Down, 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 down we come. So, if you have never knitted before, I'm just going to tilt you forward. Let me show you some basics, like making a slip knot. You want to start not quite at the end of your thread, but a little bit along. You loop it over like that. Loop it over. And then you take this end, not the short end, you take the long end. And how can I show you so that you can see it? Can you see how this long end is now crossing it, like the number 0? Then you pull it through, and while holding both ends, the long and the short end, you pull, 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 until you've created a little loop, a little loop, a little loop, with a tail at the end. Casting on is easy as pie, and we're going to count together. I'm just going to sort out my microphone cable so that I can still hear what I'm doing. So to cast on, one needle goes through, excuse me, I'm going to call it the tail end and the working end. The working end goes up and over. You pull it through. I'm going to exaggerate it slightly. You twist the needle, and then this one comes through. And look, now you've got two. Now you have two. The stitches. Two. Up and over. Turn through and three. Do it slightly faster. 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. The best part about casting on is that if you slip a stitch, 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 it doesn't matter because you're only this far through and you can just start again. Okay, I'm going to go slightly faster now to what my normal cast on speed would be. Let me just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is 20 in total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 should be 30, and see what I mean? If the needle slips out, no worries. This should be 31. Let's check. Let's check it together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's 30 and 31. Okay. Let's get a big long tail of thread. Oh gosh. What's happened here? Excuse me. There we go. Okay. So row 1, it says knit 3, then in brackets purl 5, knit 5 twice, then purl 5, and then knit 3. I'm just going to shuffle my seat back a little bit, a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. Okay, so the knit stitch. Your needle comes through from your end. I think of this as the back and this as the front, because if you're looking at me, this is the side that you would see. So I think of this side as the back. Does that make sense? Back, front. Okay. Okay. So your needle comes in from the back, up and over, and you slide it off. 1, 2, and 3. That's 3 knit. Now to purl, your working end comes over the middle, so it should be now in the back facing you. And the needle comes from the front into the back, and the yarn goes up and over and off. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Back to knit stitch. Yarn to the front. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm now realizing that if I wanted this to be a proper tutorial, I probably should have used the bigger yarn. That's easier to see on camera instead of the teeny tiny baby yarn that is quite tricky to see. But that's okay. That's what the zoom function is for. So we have knit 3, purl 5, knit 5. We purl 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yarn to the front, and we knit 5. 1, 2. I'm just trying to get comfortable, and it's not quite working for me. I want my hands to be up high enough that you can see what's happening. I wasn't counting 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. I might tilt you forward slightly because I want you to be able to get the best of the sound. Okay, the next is purl 5 and then knit 3. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, and 3. Now, do you then stick this needle in? No. You could do it that way, and depending on what I'm making, sometimes I do it that way. But you turn your needle, so what was the back is now the front, and what was the front is now the back. There's somebody moving a bunch of chairs around, so I'm just going to wait a moment. If you don't mind, we're just going to wait a moment. Wait a moment, wait a moment. I think the cleaners are in. Okay. Now this time we're doing the opposite. I'm just going to move my seat right out of the way because I'm finding I'm actually more comfortable standing. Okay, so this time we're doing the opposite of what we did the first time. So this time we're starting with a purl. 1, 2, 3. Shall I bring you up slightly so you can see better? Hello. This is all lots of adjustments. And then now we want to knit 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Purl 5. 1, have my laptop sitting just to your left, and I can see how loud the start of the video was compared to how we are now. So I've got some editing to do. 1, 2, and 3. So that is the end of row 2. And now, because this pattern is just going to repeat the entire way for the most part, well, we're going to repeat rows 1 and 2 again, and then at a certain point we're going to change it slightly so that we get the checkerboard pattern. Okay, we're going to start with knit. I quite enjoy knitting as a hobby. What's happened there? Just a moment, I need to go backwards. I didn't quite slip that stitch over. Let me just show you on the camera. Can you see? You can't see, it's not quite in focus. Can you see how there are 2 stitches here? Not really. Not really. I didn't quite take all of the stitch off on that one. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. Why are you being so difficult? Just that and there. No, there's still a bit more. Okay. There we are. Lovely. So it was knit 3. And now purl. Yes, okay. Yes, I like knitting as a hobby. Sorry, because while you're doing this, you could be watching TV. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You could be listening to an audiobook. You could be watching ASMR videos. All kinds of things. Does help if you keep count though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. These needles are really long. Like, they are the length of my forearm. I'm not used to working with needles this long. And if the pattern is simple enough, you don't really need to pay extremely close attention. I will quite often bring knitting with me if I'm playing Dungeons and Dragons, or if I'm at a board game day, or if I'm meeting friends for coffee, because it gives me something to do with my hands that's just enough to entertain my brain while I'm waiting for somebody else to take their turn, or while I'm waiting for people to show up. It's just enough that it entertains my brain without taking me out of the moment, or, making it difficult to focus on what the group is doing. Also, I like to knit on the tube because I find it makes the travel go much faster. That is the end of row 3. I'm going to show you what I mean about knitting back the way I came. So this is going to be a purl start. So in this instance, I would bring the needle in from this side. I hold the rope. I hold the yarn slightly different in my left hand than I do in my right. Oh my gosh. And now I'm going to prove exactly why you shouldn't do it this way. I was knitting a cape at the end of last year, and it got to the point where it was quite large, and turning the needle at the end of each row was actually quite difficult. instead I would just knit like this. But I think for this particular one, this is actually proving slightly more awkward than helpful. I've decided to turn my work after all. It was not helping me in the moment. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hopefully you can see now the pattern starting to emerge. My favourite part about making anything with knitting or crochet is when it gets long enough that you can use it as a blanket while you're working on it. That's one of the reasons I don't often do granny square style blankets, because you have to remember how many squares of each colour you have. You have to find somewhere to keep them. So like once I finish this square, I'll have to store it somewhere until all the other squares are finished. And then I can put them all together. Whereas working on a blanket that is one big piece, you can see your progress a lot easier. And after a while you can use it as a blanket before it's even finished. Okay. So that is the end of row 4. There is a train going by. There is a train going by. So now you can see the pattern is starting to form. If I don't pull it too tight, you can see the knits versus the pearls and how they come together to form the pattern. Okay, I'm gonna shuffle you along. I like to fidget a lot. I don't sit in one position for very long, so you can understand how I struggle with this. There we go. Okay, maybe that's better. I don't know. Okay. This is row 5, and now row 5 we change it up. Let me just get some more thread here. Shake it out, shake it out. Okay, if you could keep an eye on that for me and let me know when we're starting to run low. Right. Okay. Row 5 is starting with pearl 3. What am I doing? Pearl 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to kind of get into the groove now, if you don't mind. I'll leave you to what you're doing. You leave me to what I'm doing. And I'll see you at the end of the row, I guess. 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, is this one facing the wrong way around? 2. Excuse me. 3. 4 and 5. 1, 2, 3. And I'm actually going to move the camera again. I'm trying to get the best angle for you, where you can see what's happening as much as possible. Okay. Row 6 is knit 3. Also, I'm recording this on Tuesday evening in the office. It's currently 20 past 7. So the cleaners are cleaning up. So you will likely hear some clattering in the background as they tidy up the cups. Tidy the cups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. I think I did one too many there. I did do one too many. Yes, okay. The good thing about when the pattern starts to emerge is you can see if you've gone wrong by where you should be. Like that. So I can tell if I have done too many stitches because it won't match what's beneath it and what is next to it. And 3, okay, turn. Now we do row 3 again, which was pearl. Sorry, I got slightly distracted. Okay. Now, this is a pearl 3 and a knit 5. 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, Maybe not. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Somehow I've added a stitch. That's okay, we'll just join these two together. That's fine. I'm not entirely sure how I've done that. Somewhere in here I've added a stitch by mistake. That's okay. When you make a mistake like that, if you're early enough in the project, you can just unravel and start again. Or, you can just cover it up like that. Because by the time I'm finished with this square, you won't really be able to tell. And by the time that this is one square in a whole blanket, you won't be able to see that one stitch is out of place. Is knit, knit. I also need to remember to keep my tension consistent, because I have a bad habit of being extremely tense and then remembering and loosening up and then tensing up again without realizing. 2, 3. Oh, I need one more. Excuse me. Oh gosh. Oh, I dropped a stitch. These needles in this wool much smaller than what I'm used to. Well, thinner, but they're extremely long. And I work right at the tip of the needle like this. Was that 3 or was that 4? That was my boss slamming the door on her way out for the evening. Bellnet, right. Bellnet, yeah. You can get little counters that sit on your needle, and you can twist a dial, twist a dial, twist a dial, twist a dial, to count your rows. So at the end of each row you click, 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 to count what row you are up to. But I'm pretty sure, fairly confident you can hear a slight behind you, I can only apologise. Usually I would have my laptop below the desk, but sitting on the little stool. But as I had planned to sit on the stool, I put my laptop on top of the desk. Now I'm not sitting on the stool, but everything's already set up. So you just have to deal with it, I guess. Yes. 2, 3, 4, 5. Great. Hang on, I think something went wrong with that last row there. Yeah. Got slightly twisted somewhere. Wait, this shouldn't be that. This should be the other thing. Yes, this should be this one. Ah, there it is. This little bit of thread didn't go over on the last row. That's okay. Okay. That was row 9. This should be row 10. I had this great idea to wind the wool around you, but I just keep crashing into everything. The best laid plans of mice and men. Okay. This one is a pearl. Yes, a pearl. I'm trying to get right up in your ears, but it's quite tricky. Well, that's not right. That's not correct. Because according to the encyclopedia of... Does anyone else remember that TikTok? No, not TikTok, it was a Vine. That is not correct. Because according to the encyclopedia of... Oh dear. This is one of the benefits to using circular needles, is you don't have the ends just flapping about all over the place, crashing into things. Crash into me. Does anybody else listen to Punch Up the Jam? Punch Up the Jam. Meow was my favourite. I still enjoy it now that the Gregory brothers have taken over, but it's not quite the same. Okay. Shall we say 2 more rows and then call it a night? We're making some good progress. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. One of the other reasons that I like knitting an entire blanket instead of squares is that squares have the tendency to curl up at the edge. Curl up, curl, 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 curl up at the edge, which is partly to do with tension. And if you knit an entire blanket, the weight of it usually stops that from happening. Four and 5. Should we count in some different languages? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Write in the comments if you recognize a language. 1, 2, 3, Hang on a second. How have I ended up with that many stitches at the end? Because I only did 3 stitches here. Let's go back and try that again. I messed up my Japanese. Okay, let's try that again. She go jedem dwa trzy 4 5 1 2 3. Okay. I think this will be the last row. Excuse me, what happened there? Tasi. Lua. Tolu. Tai. Rua. Toru. Vetu. Waru. Tairu. Toru. Rima. Oh my god, I just skipped a bunch. Tairu. Toru. Rima. Golly. Trois. 4. Oh, suck. Standing on my wall. E R Sir U What other languages do I know how to count in? Is that really it? No, I know more than that, surely. Well, I can't think of any more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. I thought I knew one more. 2, 3, 4, 5. And bow. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I think now you can see the pattern starting to come together. Starting to come together. So now, to keep it safe, just push it to the end of your needle. Take your 2 needles together. Push them into your yarn and then just wind up any extra yarn. Just like that. Just like that. Okay. Let me sit down to bid you farewell. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you are working on a project right now, let me know what it is in the comments. I'd love to see pictures. Obviously you can't put pictures in a YouTube comment section, but you can find me on Instagram and on Twitter and on TikTok. All of those links are in the description down below. Or if you're like on the main YouTube channel page, there is a train going by. I'm so sorry. You should see them in the banner above me. In the banner above me. In the banner, in the banner, in the banner above me. Show me what you're making, even if it's not knitting. Show me what you're working on. Apologies, there was a train. So, whatever craft you're working on, show me. Find me on Twitter and send me a picture. I'd love to see it. Hopefully you enjoyed this, and maybe it was even helpful for you. Maybe you'll make